Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Downtime with Downstar, episode 214.
Woo!
Today we're here with Evan Beckerman of Throtl.
What's up, Frank? Thank you for having me on here.
Thanks for having me, bro.
It's been a long time.
It has,
We've been talking
man.
about this for a long time.
Same thing that TJ said, man. I just know that we're all busy, dude. You know, and that's why I appreciate when I'm able to get this window with you guys, just to chop it up, man.
I love it.
And the biggest thing is to show who you guys are, your past, and or who you are, your past, and how you got to where you're at now. Because from everything on YouTube, everybody can see what's going on at Throttle. You go to Throttle, you watch what you're doing, you know, watch the cars that you guys are building, the giveaways and things like that. But once the cameras are off,
that's when the real work starts.
Yeah, right?
I mean, it is true. It's one of those things that I think you don't really know. Like, the YouTube side of our business is probably, I don't know, 25%, 20% of my time, let's say. You know, there's a lot more that happens behind the scenes, I think, than a lot of people think.
Yeah.
And then, you know, YouTube's a grind.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's a lot of research and stuff goes into what types of videos to make, what types of titles and thumbnails, and how important all that stuff is too. So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot more, I think, than, like, if you were to go on the channel and see, oh, they're building a 335i. Well, it's like, okay, well, how did we get the parts, and who's the shop that's doing this, and, you know, what's the timeline look like, and what is, you know, all that. So there's a lot goes into it for sure.
Yeah. You guys are close to the big mark, bro. 1 million.
1 million, dude.
I love
it's hard
dude.
to believe.
Go subscribe now, guys.
Hey, link in the description.
Link in description.
I remember when we were at 2,000 subscribers.
Oh my God.
I don't remember, like, the first, like, maybe 500 or 1,000. If you're watching this, please comment below. That would be super rad. But I remember, so for me, like, when we were just getting started, I couldn't get Mickey in front of the camera. He did not like it. And even other people, like, in the business were like, man, this seems like a lot of time to spend when you have 50 people watching or 100 people watching.
Yeah.
And I was hanging out with TJ and Dustin and Evan Shanks a lot, and really, like, I could see that there was a future, but it was going to be a long grind to get there. So then I grew a mustache.
Oh.
And I called it Stash for Subs. And I basically, I made like a pledge publicly, and I said, you guys hate this mustache. My wife was so mad. She's like, you know, you need to shave that immediately. I was like, no, we're not going to shave it until we hit 5,000 subscribers. So I don't know if it incentivized people. Some people thought it was a joke, and they're like, I'm not going to subscribe. So you just have this mustache forever. But ultimately, you know, we kept making videos, and it actually did work.
Yeah.
It did work, and I shaved it like live in the video or whatever. And, you know, it's something as stupid as that. But, you know, that's all it takes is like these little moments of like, enrolling people in the vision of something. And, you know, I've kind of tried to carry that through, like, you know, setting goals and milestones and just executing and pushing. And I think the last I checked, we've made like 750 videos, maybe something like that in under 3 years. And we just crossed 100 million channel views. So it's a lot. I mean, think about that. So many people. Yeah. It's like unbelievable to kind of fathom. And yeah, almost 1 million subscribers now, 920,000.
Very cool, bro.
So that's why I'm growing a man bun out for the million.
For the million?
Yeah. I got 80K to go though, so that could take a little while.
Yeah, I could definitely relate to the grind, bro. Yeah. We're on it right now.
You guys are killing it.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it,
going.
man.
You got a lot going on, but I'm watching.
Thank you so much, man. You know, I just got to not focus on the numbers and focus on the content. And especially with the podcast, like, this content is never going to expire. You know,
it's always there.
It's always going to be there, and people are always going to want to know about you or about Mickey, you know, and they only get so much from the show itself.
I mean, I like this type of format because we really do get to explain things more than just like, oh, here's this cool car that we're building and, you know, whatever. Like, this is really the story behind it.
Yeah.
So, no, I mean, I think that's the biggest thing. What you just said is, like, this stuff lives forever. And, like, I know you've now met 214 different hosts, right? For the most part, maybe a couple duplicates, but, like, you know, the story is how things are happening, like the background of like why people are making certain decisions and going certain ways with things. One thing I wanted to touch on that you mentioned is that you know, you keep going, and if you hit a wall of something, or if you're seeing something that's not working, you're saying not focusing on the numbers. I agree, but I also disagree, because you got to focus on what is working, and don't waste your time with the stuff that's not working. Because your time is the most valuable thing. Got you. But that would be that's just my 2 cents about it. But like, you can see certain things are working, or certain things that you enjoy, that like you're getting more than just numbers back, right? Those, focus on that, because that's what's going to make you happy at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think with the podcast here, I'm a little more stubborn on it than I am with maybe like the vlogs that we're starting to do. The vlogs, I want to just see how that's working. You know, they like this, they didn't like this, they want more car stuff, they want more fun or what have you. You know, but the podcast, it's kind of like my own thing right now, which it's probably not the smartest thing if I'm trying to grow it, but I want it to grow organically. Because, you know, as well as anybody, we can get tracked down some sort of lane where you're just like, okay, well, this is getting me views, let's go down this way, and then you end up somewhere and you're like, fuck, I don't even want to be here, dude.
Yeah. Oh no, I mean that can be the demise too, right? Like, you don't want to change you have a very clear vision, I think, from what I've watched and listened of, you know, the style of people, or like the story, right? Telling the storyline. And you don't want to ever stray away from that, because that's what makes this so good. But I would say just like be mindful and review the data. I mean, I can't tell you how many hours a week I spend just reviewing other creators' titles, thumbnails, the performance, the growth of probably 60, 70 different people that I envy and I aspire to be like, and like taking bits and pieces from different channels or podcasts or whatever, that you're like, oh, well, maybe that's a cool thing that I should try. And like, try it. It can be as simple as, like, for us, like a camera trick that we just picked up, where the other day we were making a video and I was vlogging it, and I had a cameraman following me with the camera, and at one point he took the camera out of my hands and I stopped walking. So it looked like the camera was just floating. Oh, wow. So like, it was like this trippy thing where like maybe 60% of people, 70% of people didn't even notice. But like, for those people that I saw comment about it, they're like, whoa, that was super cool. Yeah. And like, in my opinion, there's certain little key elements like that will make someone be like, subscribe. Yeah. Because you're like, dang, that was kind of cool, or like kind of trippy. Like, it doesn't have to be like a shift. It can be as simple as something like that. Got you. The fine details of it. Dude, I love it, man. So there's so much production that it looks like it goes into the show. How long does it usually take to cook up an episode? I would say, from a work perspective of like Mickey and Ricky hard work in the garage, usually it's like maybe 2 to 3 days. So you're talking 2 people a day, that's 16 hours, 30 hours of work, let's say, to make one YouTube episode. And then at least probably about 8 hours to 16 hours of editing. Wow. Yeah. That long for editing? Yeah. Oh my goodness. That's dope, though. It's dope. It's not every video. So like, we wouldn't have capacity to do that for every single video. There's certain videos that maybe are different styles and stuff like that. But like, if we're talking about like one of our like bread and butter, like really cool install videos, we really try to go the extra mile. Yeah, very cool, man. As cool as we can. Yeah, that's really what I'm into. You know, like the all of this production, filming, you know, the storyline, everything. Like, I'm so into that, dude. If I had a chance to just, okay, Downstar's taken care of, what am I going to do? Dude, shoot me in front of the computer and give me some stuff to edit, dude. Like, yeah, you like editing. Oh, bro, I love it so much. It's good. A lot of people don't like that. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I love it, dude. It brings out the creativity, and, you know, you get from iMovie on the phone to the computer, like, whoa, you could do this. And then you get Final Cut, and like, oh my God, this is so different. It's crazy. Like, if you have a clip, right, and you sent it to 10 different people, how different you could make that same like segment or video just by editing, right? Yeah. Oh, so definitely. Like, it's all, I mean, it's like a really interesting marriage between whoever's recording, let's say Mickey or Ricky in that sense, and then Victor, who's editing, and like how that the storyline starts with them, and then Victor, the editor, basically creates this whole thing or persona or memes or jokes or suspense or whatever about it.
Yeah, I love that part, man. We actually just hired a full-time vlogger at Downstar.
Hey.
So we're on the Monday through Friday schedule. I would like to do 7 days a week, but it's at least seven.
That's crazy.
It's 7 uploads because 5 for the week and then 2 for the podcast every Monday and Thursday.
That's gnarly, dude.
Yeah, man. I'm trying, dude.
Yeah, that's great.
I think right now it's at the point where it's still manageable. Mm-hmm. Everything is still manageable. So we're able to, check out these other ventures and see if maybe if we focus a little on vlogging, maybe our supporters will like that,
See what comes out of it, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Is the juice worth the squeeze? And if it's not, like, shift a little bit, pivot a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, you don't have to like reinvent the wheel. I mean, dude, creating content is the way to go.
Yeah.
And I don't know if there's any business owners that are watching this that don't focus a lot on social media, please do.
Well, let's talk about that, man. Yeah. You're 32?
32.
32. I'm 35. We're about the same demographic. So guys that are usually our age wouldn't be in this space. So how did you recognize that this was something that you wanted to build on, and how did you jump in with the younger guys and kind of not listen to the older guys and like, hey, what are you guys doing with that stupid camera,
Dude, it happened out of necessity. I'm gonna do a little story time here real quick. The beginning of Throttle. So me, Rick, our other co-founder Errol, who you don't know, who's like on the tech side of the website development. We were kind of thinking, okay, well, how do we get into this industry? I worked at HRE, but that was my only like into the auto industry. We're all car enthusiasts, but no one had really ever worked anywhere.
Did you and Mickey work together?
Yeah, so that's where I met Mickey.
Okay,
was
cool,
at HRE. So he had left HRE, and I ended up leaving, I don't know, maybe a year later or something like that. And we were kind of like, okay, well, we're starting this project. We had like a concept, like who do we know in the industry that knows everyone? Boom, Mickey immediately popped to my mind. And Mickey was the first person that we brought in to the project. Gotcha. And that was when we had nothing. So when we first started out, it was like, I don't know, I felt like everyone had just kind of started out really pushing on Instagram and all that. And we started like trying to get the name out there. And we're like, oh, how do we get the name out? Oh, let's pay for shout outs from big Instagram accounts. Yeah. And then it's like, okay, well, you pay X amount of dollars and you get a shout out. And at that time, we were trying to get people onto our classifieds platform. So people would make listings and sell their car parts or their cars on there. And we started doing that more, and it did work really well, but we started spending a lot of money, and we're like, well, we're not making any money. How much longer can we continue to spend money? Mm-hmm. So that, in my mind, was like, oh, man, we want influence. We want to be able to get people to sign up or to make a listing or to do whatever, but we can't afford to pay for it. So what's the next thing? We need to become an influencer ourselves. That was like the turning point. We're like, okay, we're not going to pay for any more shout outs. We're going to take that money that we were going to spend or whatever and invest it into creating our own content and doing our own thing. And then, we got introduced to TJ pretty early on, and we had a phone call with him, a Skype or video call. This must have been 4 years ago.
Okay.
A long time ago. I think he had about 100,000 subscribers.
Gotcha.
And we had a phone call with him. We were so amped up. We're like, hey, we have this really awesome idea and this classifieds platform, and it's got, 50,000 members on it, and so many people are, buying and selling. Do you want to get involved? And would you be interested in working with us? And he looked at it, and I remember watching him on the video chat, and he was like, he liked the idea, but he thought we were too early. Like it was just not good enough. And it was funny because I remember getting off the phone call and Mickey's like, we're never going to work with TJ. he didn't. And then, it's funny because, fast forward, like only like 6 months, I started hanging out with TJ and helping him with his car projects. And then Mickey started coming over, and then, then the whole team seemed like everyone was like over in the shop right over there helping on car projects. And everyone really was like, oh, now we get it. Like, he's cool. He just didn't really, he wasn't able to see our vision because it just wasn't executed at that time. And TJ was really one of the biggest proponents for us to be like, you need to be creating content. Don't pay for shout outs. Don't do all that. Like, double down on content. And that's when I picked up the vlog camera for the first time. I'd never edited anything. And he's basically like, vlog. You see me doing it all the time. Just start. And I think that was the turning point where I was like, man, this is going to suck. At the beginning, I mean, it was really hard. I remember I would film, I would go home and edit, and it would take me like 8, 10, 15 hours to edit like a 5-minute video.
Oh, wow.
And then I went on a trip with TJ and Calvin and Evan Shanks, and these guys would film and edit within like an hour or 2 hours, and their video was done. And I was up till like 4 a.m. editing, and my video still sucked.
Were you just overthinking it?
Yeah, part of it, overthinking it, or just like trying to learn how to use the software, or like, yeah, really just like in my head on how. And the more I did it, the faster I became. So like I don't regret going through that, but like you have to make 100 shitty videos to start making halfway decent ones, and then the more you do it, the easier it becomes.
All right, everybody, I hope you're enjoying the episode. We got to take a quick break for our sponsor, Heeltoe Auto. An important part in buying Honda parts online is making sure that you can trust the company that you're dealing with to get you the right parts reliably. You spend a lot of money and you spend a lot of time researching your build. The last thing that you want to do is send cash to a website where you may never see it again, or worse yet, never see the parts. With Heeltoe Automotive, an 18-year history and track record is part of the deal. Heeltoe brings you deep industry connections, professional part recommendations, alternative ideas when your parts aren't available, and they'll even contact you when something out of the ordinary looks on your order before it even ships. Heeltoe's unique checkout allows you to select a deadline to receive your parts to make sure that you get them in time for your project plans. So you don't have to call Heeltoe and say, hey man, I got to get this motor done this weekend. It's Thursday. Can you get me these parts? I need it now. I ordered it already, and you're holding up the bill. And like, bro, you need to let us know first when you need these parts. And that's really unique that Heeltoe offers that, and it helps out a lot. You can buy parts anywhere online, but Heeltoe knows what truly matters to an enthusiast: professionalism, swiftness, and accuracy. Heeltoe is in your corner. Guys, please make sure you check out heeltoeauto.com, or you can call or text them at 949-295-1668. Please just shoot them a text right now and tell them thank you for supporting the Downtime with Downstar podcast. 949-295-1668. Now back to the show. Yeah, it seems like a lot of people that want to get into the content space, they want to sub everything out. You know, I need somebody to edit this. I need this. I'm like, yeah, but now you're in the mercy of them. What if something happens to them and they can't do it? They got to go to work or what have you, you know? So I've always been the kind of person that, look, I want to know how this works. What do I have to do? Let me just watch you just in case something happens. Yep. And dude, ever since I've been editing, I just fell in love with it, man.
And now that you are now taking the next step to hire someone, you know what you want.
Exactly.
And I think that that's so important when you're creating content, especially at the beginning. Like, you know, I tried to take my vision of how I want the channel to be and train the new people that you're hiring to kind of carry the torch. Everyone has their own ideas, their own styles, and I love that. But like the methodology for creating the content, in my opinion, has been very consistent over the past 4 years. The storyline and how we're doing it. So like I envision that, you know, however you have your idea of like, this is the Downstar. I don't know, what do you call the YouTube channel?
Just Downstar.
Downstar. This is the Downstar YouTube channel. This is the formula that I have in my head, and you're going to convey that to this new guy and say, hey, this is what I want you to carry the torch for me. Yeah. Right. And, you know, work together on making something that's awesome, right? And fun.
Yeah, no, definitely, man. And I totally agree with you on that. Like, I hired the guy and I'm trying to show him, because he was already doing kind of his own thing. So he was familiar with the software. That's all I needed. Yep. But then now I have to get him, look, get in my brain. Exactly. This is what it is.
Exactly. That's
you know, better. Yeah. And then I want it to be as authentic as possible, because that is why people mess with us at Downstar. It's because what it represents, you know, just taking something and making it, or taking nothing and making it something, you know, just living by the rules that you want to live with in life, you know. And that's what I want to promote, especially on the podcast too. You know, like, you don't have, if you want to go to college and get a career and go do something, dude, do it. But if that's not what you want to do, don't do it. Go do whatever you want to do, and you can listen to 214 episodes of people who've done what they wanted to do, and you find so many parallels in between that. So we're just showing us our life, how we're doing it, and hopefully inspiring somebody to go do it for themselves.
I love it, dude.
That's the plan, man, because
it's hard, but it's I look back, especially now, like I look back and I'm like, man, like we struggled a lot and we continue to struggle, but there was some dark times where we're like, man, I don't know if we can keep going. We don't know if, on the content side, it just wasn't working. Like you'll experience like lulls and really high highs and low lows. Was it last year at SEMA? We had 2 videos that like somehow blew up, and the YouTube numbers that I was like showing on my phone, how it shows you the last 48 hours or whatever, it was showing like 2.4 million views in 48 hours. And I was like, oh my God, like this is out of control. I think we gained like 100,000 subscribers in like 2 weeks or something.
No way.
Yeah, it was like 3,000 to 4,000 subscribers a day.
Oh my God.
And we're like, oh my God, this is fantastic. And then you never know, 3-4 months later, like you're doing the same thing and it's just not working. So there's a lot of that, but I think, and I think you can tell because you've done 214 of these, like you got to keep going. Keep your head down, and when it's bad, you keep your head down. When it's good, you keep your head down and you just keep working. Right?
Yeah, dude, it even takes me to today. We set this podcast up maybe a few weeks ago, and I'm in the process of moving as well, and we have to be out of the house on Sunday. And today,
this Sunday?
Yeah, and today's Tuesday. But I hustled all I could during the weekend because I knew I need to take this day off to go do this, because this is going to be my relaxing day. Talk to some of the boys, have a combo, just remember why I do this in the first, why I do everything in the first place. And it's rejuvenating, man. It's exciting. And now
it's cool. I mean, I don't get time to sit down and just have a real genuine conversation about, what we've gone through. I mean, it's a good reflection.
A lot of people don't, man. And that's the thing, that's why I see that the podcasts have so much value in this space, because there's people that we know them. Oh yeah, dude, he's been around for 20 years. I'm like, oh, do you know his kid? Oh, I didn't even know he had a kid. Like, what do you know about this dude? Well, he makes cool parts. Yeah. And when I hit him up, he gets them to me. I'm like, yeah, you really don't know this person. Yep. But then when you sit down and talk to them, and they're telling you how they beat this, or they did this, or what happened, they were homeless, or what have you, you're like, wow, dude. It puts everything into more of a perspective. And even if that person isn't doing, the same as you, more than you, the level of whatever you would even want to call it, you see where they've come from, and it's like, whoa, bro, you've skyrocketed way past me, because where I started wasn't even right there. Crazy. And it is beautiful to have these combos.
Love it.
So let's take it back to the beginning, man. Where were you born at?
Upstate New York, Rochester, New York.
No shit.
Yeah.
New York.
Grew up in New York. Got into cars right around the original Fast and Furious. Rick, my older brother, had Acura Integra. And then I got a 4th gen Prelude VTEC.
Hell yeah.
Nitrous, stripped the interior, just made it like the worst daily driver. But it was fun. We used to go to the track every week pretty much. And in New York, like you wash a car and then the next day it's dirty already or whatever. And, after college, went to college in New York for engineering. And then 2 weeks after graduation, drove to San Diego and been here for over 10 years.
Wow, dude. So what was it like growing up out there?
It was great. I mean, way different. The car scene was terrible. I remember coming out here to visit, and I'm like, oh my God, this is real. Like, I'd only seen it in the movies and all that. And, back home, like you may see a modified car like once a day, let's say. And out here it's, every 5th car, right? Is something done to it. So I knew this is a place where I wanted to be. So
when did you realize that you were into cars like that?
As soon as Rick was 16. I remember helping him with his projects. He had a H22 Integra, and he had a Turbo Integra. And we started in the Honda scene, and really that's kind of how Throttle originally was born, because we were trying to figure out how to buy parts for our cars. So what we would do is we'd buy parts on Honda Tech and sell them on Craigslist, or buy parts on eBay Motors and sell them on, integratuning.net, all the forums, right? And, we'd be buying big wholesale lots and, parts bins full of stuff and then parting them out individually. And that's what funded all of our projects. So that's really how Throttle started in the first place, was a tool for us to buy and sell parts faster.
Yeah.
So that the original Throttle, what it was basically was a search engine for all of the auto forum classifieds. So you could go on there and you could type whatever, B18C distributor, and it would search 250 forums for the classifieds, and then it would find them. So we did that for a long time, and then we kept getting questions like, hey, I can't find a used distributor, as an example, but do you guys sell new ones? Or I can't find a used exhaust, or I'm just looking for a new exhaust. Do you guys sell new parts? Do you sell new parts? Do you sell new parts? Do you sell new parts? And it became so overwhelming that when we went to SEMA a couple years ago, that's how the parts business was born. We got signed up with all these distributors, and fast forward to now is, we are we're moving a lot of parts, and we're helping out a lot of people with their builds, which is crazy. But that's how it all started, was conceptually like, hey, how do we build a tool that will make my life easier, or I'll be able to buy and sell more parts faster? And then turned it into what it is today.
Dude, hell yeah.
Bro.
So Rochester, New York, what made you decide to just drive out to San Diego and put your flag out here?
So it's kind of a long story, but essentially my dad was a lawyer, and he went to Cal Western in San Diego. So we had visited San Diego a couple times growing up, and I just thought it was a cool, rad place. And then when I was still in college, Rick had just graduated, and he's like, hey, I'm going to go out to San Diego and finish. I think he had to finish his degree or something. He had to take one class. So he took a class at UC San Diego. He said, hey, do you want to come out for the summer? And I spent the summer out here, and I'm like, oh my God, why are we dealing with the snow and the winter of upstate New York when we could be out here hanging out on the beach all the time? And, and that was my first glimpse into the car scene out here. And I remember going out to it was like a nightly meet or something, and I had never seen that many modified cars in one place. And I was like, oh my God, this is like a weekly thing out here. Yeah. I'm like, we need to be out here. Yeah. So from that moment, basically I actually applied to a couple different schools. I tried to transfer out here. It didn't end up working out, but as soon as we graduated, I was out here.
Did you, were you still into Hondas when you came out here?
Yeah, I had an RSX Type S.
Nice.
And so back there, rust is a huge issue. So I had my RSX shipped out here, and I remember I tried to sell it, and I had such a hard time because it didn't have any real rust like the Honda Cancer that a lot of, because it was newer than that. It was a 2005. But what it did have was surface rust on bolts and stuff, and I brought it. Gotcha. People had brought the car to some shops, and they're like, don't buy it, it's too rusty. And so I did have some trouble selling the car. And then as soon as I sold that car is when I got into BMWs.
Really? Yeah. So how'd you like the RSX?
The other thing was sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, K20, great motor. It was just bolt-ons, and I think, did I have K-Pro? K-Pro, right? Yeah. That car was sick. But now that I'm more into the German stuff, I think at some point I want to get another Honda. Yeah. I would love to get either an NSX or just a DC2 Type R. Those would be two cars, and I don't think I would mess with them too much. I would just clean OEM plus type stuff. But yeah, I've always wanted a Type R.
I second that Type R, man.
Yeah. I'm surprised you don't have one, to be honest.
You know what? For me being a Honda guy, I'm not really a Honda guy, to nerd out on it. I like EGs, and then I like what I see, and I don't like what I don't like, and that's what it is. With Hondas, if somebody's a Honda guy, they're they know all the chassis codes, and they know when this came out and this facelift and this and that. It wasn't really my thing of it.
You still have your EG?
Yeah, I have two of them. Okay. So I have the gray one, the heavy in the streets EG with the graffiti. Yep. And then I have the right hand drive, so that's a 92, and that one's under the knife right now. Okay. And hopefully we could start building that on the channel. So I'm excited for that.
It's a good idea.
So I still definitely love Hondas, but I've seen it all. Yeah. I've seen it all.
You've been through it all.
Bro, I've seen it all, and I've done everything that I've wanted to do. And there's not that many people that are like pushing the boundaries in the Honda community as much as I wish that there would be more of them doing that. But yeah, definitely still have love for it. But it's just a certain type of love.
Sure.
Like there's certain ones that I like and certain ones that I don't. But just like you, man, I've been getting hit with the BMW bug, dude. So what was your first BMW?
First BMW was a Z4.
Oh shit. Beamer boy.
I didn't have it for too long. It was my first car out here. Convertible. I was like, oh, loving life, whatever. And then I got a 135i.
Gotcha.
Which is an awesome car if you've never driven one. And N54.
Okay.
Twin turbo, 6-speed manual, freaking tune, like just basic bolt-ons with the tune, and thing was fast. It was a lot of fun. And I drove that for maybe a year or two while I worked at HRE. Then I had an E30 BMW convertible. That was fun. And then I got the E36 M3 that's outside.
Gotcha.
And that thing was a total piece of junk. I bought it for $2,000.
Nice.
Had a cracked cylinder head. Yeah, pretty rough shape. And that was really, I would say, one of my first like major builds, call it. And basically Mickey and I built that in my home garage that's basically right when Throttle started. So if you go to the beginning of Throttle YouTube, you'll see like the build series on the E36.
Yeah.
And it started like when we had finished everything. Like we didn't record anything. It was terrible. Yeah, the car was more or less done in like 1 or 2 episodes. It went from totally stock to like bagged and like wrapped and all this stuff, wide body. Yeah, we learned a lot. We should have filmed more, obviously. But yeah, man, that was 4 years ago now.
Got you. All right, boys, we got to take another break for our sponsor, Action Clutch. One of the most critical parts to any build is the clutch. Without a proper clutch, you won't be able to get that power to the wheels. No one wants to spend hundreds of dollars on a clutch that won't hold their power for more than a few races or spirited drives. That's why it's important to go with a kit that you can count on, and that's why a lot of people choose Action Clutch over the competition. Action Clutch is made here in the USA with parts sourced locally in Los Angeles. Action Clutch has kits from OEM replacements all the way up to 1200 horsepower and can be found everywhere from street cars, drag cars, and even Formula Drift vehicles. Not only are they made in the USA, but Action Clutch has made a strong focus this year to give back a percentage of sales to their community during these hard times, provided impacting families with groceries and other necessities. Big shout out to Action Clutch. That's a huge one, man. Thank you guys for helping out your community. If you guys need anything from them, you contact them with whatever you need and you'll get the family treatment. Check them out at actionclutch.com or on Instagram at Action Clutch. You can always shoot them a DM or you can give them a call at 323-269-6051. And if you're about 55 and you don't deal with any of that malarkey, you can also email them at sales@actionclutch.com. If you need help choosing a kit, they can get you all taken care of. And I could get you taken care of as well. If you need 15% off, if you want to save a little change, use code DTWD upon checkout to get 15% off. Now back to the show. So now you got a new baby, dude.
The M2 Competition.
Would you get that maybe like a month ago?
Yeah, about a month ago. It's freaking awesome.
I love it, bro. So
and all my other BMWs like have been pretty rough. I had an E46 M3 as well. But this one is like nice. Yeah. It's not as nice as yours, but it's nice.
Today it is. Yeah. My car is dirty.
But man, I mean, the new cars, they're nice. And with basic mods, they can be so fast and capable and comfortable. And like, I don't know, I'm older now. Yeah. You know, I don't really want to drive around in a, completely stripped out car like I used to. I'm kind of over that. But it's been a lot of fun. A lot of people, some people knock them, but I don't think they've driven one.
Why is that?
I don't know. Just people hate on everything, right?
Yeah.
People hate on the internet for whatever reason.
Oh, we'll definitely get to that subject. But that's how I was. I just, what I seen BMWs was as like just expensive cars. You know, for whatever lawyer, business person, that's their daily. Okay, that's the only respect I gave BMWs. My wife worked at Rusnak BMW in Thousand Oaks, and still, her working there, I was never even into them. And then I had my RSX, got rid of my RSX, and I wanted to get a new daily. I'd never even bought a brand new car, ever. And she's like, just come to my work, just check out the M cars. They're really nice. You know, it's like, okay, cool, I'll check it out. Went to the basement, dude. It had an M4 with the light over it, dude.
Dang.
With the door open, with the light on the ground, with the red interior, frozen white. And I walked out of there with like 2 hours later,
Really?
dude. Yeah. I said, I want that car.
Wow.
And
so you were converted right there.
Oh, dude, ever since then, I've been converted. You know, I spent 3 years with that car, just doing small things to it, like JB4 tune, exhaust, lowering it, and dude, I fell in love.
Was it a dual clutch or a 6-speed?
Dual clutch.
Dual clutch.
Yeah. So my only regret with that car is that, one, I didn't do everything in the first 3 to 6 months so I could experience it for the whole time that I had the car. And I should have got a real tune on it instead of like a JB4, which those are great, but the M8, we got it tuned at Gintani in Van Nuys, and bro, that shit is insane.
I just drove it.
You drove it.
That thing is gnarly, dude.
It's fun.
You better be
man.
careful.
Yeah.
That thing is sick.
I am, dude.
It's so like very boss feeling when you drive it. But yeah, I couldn't. That thing is a rocket ship.
Yeah, man.
It's really fast.
So I'm bit by the BMW bug now. Like I was saying out there, I want to get a E30 M3 red
You
one.
and me both.
So hopefully, with a K swap though.
Hey, oh my God, you get killed if you did that.
Yeah, right.
So I'm actually, so I have owned now E36 M3, E46 M3, E93 M3, which is the M3 convertible.
Okay.
And then my wife has an F80 M3, and then
Yeah.
I have the M2 Competition. So I've owned almost every one besides the E30 M3.
Gotcha.
So someday I will own an E30 M3.
Yeah.
But I'm actually thinking that I want to try another manufacturer. I think I've seen it all, so now I'm like, you know, and I love my car, so I'm not doing that anytime soon. But yeah, I would like to kind of get a taste for what else is out there and kind of see, just so I have some reference, I guess, if I do like it or if I don't or whatever. I'm just so used to the same thing. So
do you find that the M2 is close to the 135? Gotcha.
Yes. Yeah, and the E46 M3.
Gotcha.
I think it's very small. Chassis is very capable. I'm going to be bringing that out to the track in the next couple weeks.
Very cool.
So I did a clear bra in the front, so I don't have to worry about hopefully a lot of rock chips. But yeah, I can't wait to get that thing on the track. Definitely it's been asking to go there basically.
So you got it a month ago. What are some of the things that you've done to it already?
I've done the Venturi intakes, Army Tricks exhaust, Carbon Stage 1 tune, just HRE flow forms, lip kit, and then the CS hood or the GTS hood.
Got you.
Yeah, I love it.
Looks great, bro.
Thank you.
Definitely does. So are you thinking maybe an Audi?
You know, I had a buddy who had an RS5. I think that would be pretty sick. I mean, at some point, have you ever driven a McLaren before?
Yes.
What did you think?
It was the 570. That's it, right?
Yeah.
570.
Yeah, 570S or the GT.
Well, no, just like the regular, entry level one.
Yeah.
It was cool, but you know what it reminded me of, dude? Was the interior of a Lotus. Kind of like, it's just really clunky and you feel like a race car.
Yeah.
But me personally, I'm more towards like the M8.
Yeah.
Carbon, leather, you know, all that kind of stuff.
It's very basic.
Yes.
Yeah, so if you get a chance to drive a 600 LT or a 675 LT or like some of the higher end stuff, it's pretty crazy, but it isn't something that you'd want to drive every day. So I'd love to own one. I think that the M2 would be like a better daily, obviously. But maybe, I mean, TJ's coming in here with some of these, like the R8 is so sick, and the Aventador, and I'm like, man, like it'd be nice to drive one of those around for a little while. So that for me is like, it's like a personal goal to get into something like that, just so that I can experience that, and maybe I like it, maybe I don't.
Definitely.
I don't know. Yeah.
Well, it looks like you guys are gonna start working on an R8 pretty soon. Ricky just came up.
Yeah, Ricky's the first one to step into that realm, and that car is super cool. It's also, I mean, I remember seeing it. What was it, Iron Man, I think?
Yeah.
And like, you know, when Ricky showed up in it, I'm like, man, like that was the goals car
Yes.
like a few years ago, and it still is a really awesome car. But I remember when that first came out, and I was like, oh my god! And they still like, so that's a first gen, I think, R8, and they just look so exotic.
Yeah.
But when you get in it, it really is nice and comfortable, and it's not like overly crazy. And the 6-speed manual in that car is so cool. The gated shifter.
Yeah.
Like it feels like when you shift it like a bolt action rifle.
Really?
It's so direct, and like the noise it makes, it sounds like a rifle.
You could hear
super
it.
cool.
Guys, if you haven't seen the new video of Throttle, go check it out now. You could actually hear it when he...
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's super cool.
So tell me about Ricky, man. I like that
Dude,
guy, bro. He has great energy.
Ricky is the man. And, you know, just kind of in general, like the team that we have here is incredible. And the channel would be nothing if it wasn't for everyone coming together. You know, everyone plays their part. I think, well, hopefully you can see that
Definitely.
from here is like, you know, there's no one like commanding, you know, like, hey, do this. Like everyone kind of knows what needs to get done, and everyone kind of pitches in to go above and beyond. If like there's certain things that like we really need to get done or stay late or whatever, that's fine. So how did Ricky get here, to get back to that?
Mm-hmm.
I think Mickey met Ricky, man, has to be over 2 years ago now. And Ricky is the type of guy to literally lend a hand. You need help with any project, he will stay there, and he'll stay there until the job is done. And I think that's when Mickey was building his FD, and that's kind of really, I believe that's really where the start was. I mean, Mickey and Ricky probably worked countless nights till 1, 2 in the morning here, working on that car. And you know, even now, you know, fast forward, Ricky still works equally as hard. Ricky also has another job too. So I think about maybe 6 months ago, Ricky and his family, they moved a little bit closer, which has definitely been better because he also lived about an hour and a half away.
Oh, wow.
So he was driving a lot. Now I think it's a little bit better. So yeah, Ricky works here, not full time, but almost. And he's really just the go-to guy. You need stuff done, Ricky's an executor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, that's cool. But yeah, me hanging out here today and just seeing how everything works, it really shows how efficient you guys are, you know, because even I'm just here and I'll just check my phone and you guys are posting up. I'm like, oh shit, I didn't see them like, oh, what am I gonna post or anything, but everybody's just doing something.
There's a lot of different facets. You know, you're seeing the content side of the business, the media side of the business. We also have the performance part side, which is more or less 100% remote now. So yeah, we have half a dozen guys working on the part side as well, all across the country. Actually, we have some people in Canada too.
Really?
Yeah. And then there's like a whole software team too. Like there's a lot of really cool tech that we're doing that like when you place an order, your part is literally on the way within an hour or two sometimes.
Wow.
We've had some customers, like I see people tag us on Instagram where it's like, I placed this order in the morning and it arrived that afternoon.
How?
It's crazy.
No way.
Yeah, we have distributors all across the U.S. So, you know, let's say, I mean, yeah, you place an order and you're within X amount of hours from them. Like you'll get your parts same day. Wow. Just crazy.
Dude, that makes us look bad, bro. We're on 5 to 7 business days. Yeah. Leave me alone.
You guys ship everything out of your facility.
Out of the facility. So we got to build it and stuff. Yeah. But when I started out, I just made it 5 to 7 business days, and I just never changed it ever since then.
Can I flip the script on you?
Yeah, let's do it.
I don't really know.
Yeah.
The original Downstar, how did you start it? How did you start in the bolt industry? How did you do that?
Want to go a little further than that?
Sure, where?
2001. 16 years old in high school. Selling CDs.
Okay.
Selling CDs in class. I had a whole list of all the CDs that I had.
I bet people watching this don't even have CDs or CD players anymore.
It looks like a record. Yeah. You guys seen those? But smaller and like a mirror.
Yeah.
But I had a list, right? So back in the day, you could probably remember this. Not everybody had a CD burner. Mm-hmm. So the friend that did and the friend that knew how to download music from Kazaa or LimeWire or whatever, that was the dude. I was the dude. I figured it out. So I had my list. I would sell CDs. And I've always wanted to have my own business ever since, like, from a kid. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I was just always infatuated with money. And business and money go hand in hand, you know? So I was like, oh, what am I going to call? I should call this something. This is my business. So I made a front page on it, and it said Downstar. And I got the name from the company Darkstar, the skateboarding brand, because I was huge into skateboarding. And I still have the first shirt ever. It's the Darkstar logo, but it says Downstar. And then it says under, it says bootlegging copywritten shit since 2001.
Oh my God.
So that's where the name Downstar came from.
Got it.
Everything, AOL, Instant Messenger name, any email, library, everything was Downstar. If it's not going to be my name, it's going to be Downstar. So fast forward about 2009, in the Honda community, just like on forums and stuff, not even really serious about it.
Yep.
I ended up buying a right-hand drive January 2009, and I'm going to shaving it and doing this and that, putting it back together. So I'm documenting my build on the forum, and I'm trying to ask people on their builds and just putting it up. Hey, anybody know where to get nice nuts and bolts at? And the people that did have it, they weren't going to tell me where they got it from. So I took some hardware. I went to the hardware store and I said, hey, do you have anything that looks better than this? So then they brought me something. I'm like, yeah, that works. Put on my build thread. Someone asked me, hey, where'd you get that? I said, I got it. What do you want? They sent me the money. I went to the hardware store, bought it, shipped it out to them.
That's
how it started, dude. And I needed a name for the business, so it was Downstar.
Crazy.
Yeah, and that was in 2009. And
isn't that funny though?
Yeah.
It started out of necessity, right?
Yeah.
You were like, man, these crusty old bolts, like terrible. And it was, I mean, look at now. Right?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I would have never expected it.
Yeah.
I would have never expected it, and everybody back then wouldn't have, because I got so much shit for just trying to offer a service to people. Why am I going to buy it from you? I'll just go to the hardware store. I'm like, well, go ahead, bro. You don't have to buy it from me. This is like a convenience. You don't have to go to McDonald's. Just go to the grocery store, buy a burger, go make it yourself.
Sure.
You know, and I had to deal with so much of that in the beginning, but once people actually got the product, put it on their car, and realized like, oh, if I'm going to paint this tranny, I should probably change out the bolts too, because it looks so dumb I'm painting over the bolts.
Yep.
And then we just kept pushing forward and got to where we're at today.
Sick, dude. Congrats.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
It's cool. It's cool because I didn't know that before this.
It's sometimes it doesn't even feel like it's my story. It feels like I'm just living this life. Like, how did I do all of these things to make all the stars align to get here? I'm not supposed to be here right now, you know? I know what you're gonna say. Me, who I grew up around, all my friends, family, everything, I should just be working a regular job, get off at 5 o'clock, and be stoked on a Friday afternoon because I'm gonna chill.
That's what makes you, Frank. I mean, that in reality, like, there's no one else responsible for this, obviously, besides you.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's interesting because, like, since I'm trying to think how we formally got introduced, I think through Mickey, right? Through
the first was TJ.
Okay.
And then with
That's right.
TJ, then I started, kind of meeting everybody.
But just
around.
like since I've met you, you've always been the same way.
Yeah.
So, and I don't think that's going to change until you die, right? So
I don't think so, man. I think people listening now, if they followed us since the beginning, they can see the changes that I've gone through because the Honda community is extremely niche, and everybody knows everyone. Everyone knows what's going on. And I've gone through so much stuff publicly that people have seen where we came from and where we're at now. And, hopefully they're supporters of ours. But, it's like, I don't look at the business and think like, oh, I want to get here. I want to do that. I'm just trying to just have fun every day. I'm trying to just keep pushing forward,
And that's really important. And at least I go through that all the time, because when people start to see that it feels like a job on camera, it's even more transparent. So it's worse. So like, we have very tight deadlines, and we have 5 or 6 concurrent projects, and like there are times where we have to like hold back, and it's like, look, we're not going to meet this deadline because we're not going to kill everyone to get there.
Exactly.
Because on camera it's multiplied even further. So like, if you were up against a deadline to get something done and you didn't have to film it, you could get it done quick. And if you didn't do it 100% perfect, like no one would really know. But everything is on camera with us. So like everything has to be done right. And, you know, you can't rush certain things. So, and as I said, people will notice if no one's having fun, and if you're not having fun with your vlog and whatever, it's not going to do well.
Yeah.
Because people want to, you know, at the end of the day, they want to get a feeling. This is my opinion. They want to get a feeling from watching your video, like inspired, or they want to be like, oh, this guy's having fun. Like, I want to go have fun with my friends, or like, you know, inspired to do something or to feel a certain way. Yeah. And if you're in there and you're like, oh, I'm so angry and like, this is just work to me, and you're just putting out content just for the sake of putting out content, you're spinning your wheels.
Yeah, no, definitely, man. And it took a lot of me having to know myself as well, knowing the signs that I have to see, like, yo, you got to take a break. You gotta chill out, because you're worried about what's happening here, and you're not worried about like how you're making these people feel.
Yeah.
And not only these people, like employees or customers, like my family. If I'm stressed out at work, I come home and I take it out on them. That's not fair.
Yep.
This life that I'm living, like I said, I don't have to be living this life. I want my life to go in this direction, so I have to put up with whatever comes with it. And it's nobody else's fault. It's not my wife's fault, my son's fault, my friends, my employees' fault. It's not their fault, dude. It's my fault, because this is the quality of life that I want.
Sure.
So bro, I have internal battles all the time with myself.
I feel you. Same thing. I mean, you know, I feel like I could work 35 hours a day, right?
Yeah.
You know, you could, but it's like, the rest of your life is going to suffer too.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a balance, dude. I mean, that's a constant balance of things. And that's why I think once you're at that point where you're like, man, I can't work anymore, and you can afford to take the risk to hire someone to be your split, right? In certain ways, that to me that's how we've been able to grow. It's like whenever like the capacity of me or whoever is doing a certain job is like max, like it's, you know, when we were working with Mickey and it was me and Mickey building cars, let's say at the beginning, and like it just became too much, we had to find a Ricky. And, you know, with the editing side, like I edited for the first 2 years myself or even more, and like it was just too much. So then we hired Victor. And what I realized is by being able to hire someone, then I could spend my time doing something else that could be more valuable than if I were to edit or whatever. So like it's like finding your split, and now you're able to accomplish multiple things at once. And that's how we've been able to grow the team, and you know, slow and steady. I mean, we're at that capacity for a number of different places right now. So
I think when we did the podcast with Mickey, that's when Victor first started.
Yep.
So how long did it take for him to get the idea of what you guys wanted to put out, as far as the style?
Pretty quick. He's awesome. He's been a tremendous help and instrumental at the growth that we've experienced over the past couple of years, 2 years or whatever. But I think that, you know, in the mechanics of like editing, he knows, and he knows way better than me. That's the other side of it, is like, you know, you might find someone who's way more capable than you are at editing or whatever. And that was the case with Victor. Like we were able to not only produce more content, but it's better quality.
Yeah.
Right. So how long did it take? I think it's an ongoing thing, to be honest. We work together on everything. So like I review every video, you know, he does amazing stuff. There's certain things or key points that I need to bring into the video from maybe a business side, or maybe a you know, someone needs to get mentioned that he wasn't aware of, or something like that. And then now Nate is a recent hire, and Nate is an airplane. Did you hear that?
That is crazy,
we're right by a base here, but it's pretty gnarly with the microphone. Nate is a recent hire. I think he's been here since August.
Okay.
And now Nate is doing social media, and then also he's doing editing. So all of the M2 videos has been me working with Nate.
Very cool.
So you'll notice if you watch those videos versus Victor's, totally different style. It's really cool. Nate brings a new element. And there's certain things, like you said, like you can't teach certain styles, but like the mindset, or like the storyline, or like the torch, as you said, like carrying the torch, like they both carry the torch.
All right, boys, I hope you're enjoying this episode. We got to take one break for our last sponsor and our newest sponsor, Aeromotive. Piecing together the fuel system for your build can be a difficult task. Luckily, Aeromotive has your back with everything from replacement fuel pumps to fuel systems that will support up to 3,000 horsepower. Wow. Aeromotive's engineers have developed a solution for your build regardless of power level. If you're looking to make the switch over to E85, they have every part that you need to build a system that will be there when you need it the most. Need a custom fuel system for your daily that turned into a project car? No problem. Guys, I know we have a lot of new listeners today, and if your daily has turned into a project car, leave a comment, man. Let us know what you got, and let us know where you steered wrong and how you went down that dark path that we all go down. So if you guys can, please just check out aeromotiveinc.com, and you can check out some of their newest products, such as the brushless pump line. It's quieter pump, less heat, and it lasts longer than traditional brush motor fuel pumps. They range from the A1000 all the way up to 10 gallons per minute for 3,000 plus horsepower. And if you don't need anything that crazy, you can check out the Stealth 340. It's the top selling pump that they have. It's a high horsepower, so 700 for EFI and 1,000 for a carburetor. And if you just need a crazy setup, you can always check out the customization shop, and they can literally create a fuel system for any build. And if you have a race team such as pro drifter Matt Field, and you are on the off time and you want to get all your pumps and filters and all that ran through, you can check out their rebuild program. You just send it in, Aeromotive does their magic, and voila, you're winning races just like Matt Field, man. So make sure you guys check out aeromotiveinc.com or check them out on Instagram at Aeromotive. And if you want to save some money, use the code DTWD at checkout for 10% off. Now let's get back to the show.
Yeah, just like different ways.
Just like anything, man, it just takes time, and that's the point we're at, where we just got our Victor, you know, and we're just trying to hone it in. And I'm just trying to paint the picture to my guys of like, look, this is what it is right now, but don't look at that. Mm-hmm. This is what it's going to be,
or what it could be. Yeah,
it's gonna go there. We all have to do this to make it happen, you know. And if we're all on the same page, it's gonna get there. But then I'll be able to see if, you know, there's a real value for it. You know, if I really feel like once we get to that point, like I said with the podcast, now we're at the point where I wanted to be at 2 years ago, so I better be happy with where we're
But now
at.
you're like, whoa, where can we go in 2 years from now?
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
It's a moving target, right?
Yeah.
But it's awesome, right?
I love it, man.
I can tell.
Yeah.
Right?
I love it because since it's the podcast, and the podcast isn't necessarily surrounded like a certain demographic, it's not an automotive podcast. I could have anybody in here. And like my son, he's really been into skateboarding for the last 2 years, and I've got back into it, and it just brought me back to being a kid again. And now we're going down the skate route. So we're vlogging skating, hanging out with skaters. I'm going to have skaters on the podcast, and it's just like, I love it, dude.
Very
you know,
cool.
I need to do something that is fun to me. That's fun to me. Let's do it. And that's what I really feel like. If you ask me what success is in business, just being able to create, just being able to do whatever I want to do.
It's great. I mean, I 100% agree. If you don't like it or love it, if you don't like it or love it, or both or whatever, then it's going to be a drag, dude.
Yeah.
And you're not going to want to look forward to it. And obviously, you've done 214 of these, so you're not just doing this just because, right?
Yeah.
Like, you enjoy it. I think that, I mean, if anyone's watching this and you're doing something that you're just not loving, then think about making a change.
Yeah, try something out. It's not always quitting. You know, you can try something and then it didn't feel like I thought it was gonna feel. Try something else.
Well, this is one other thing that I want to mention too, and you know, what I mean by that is like, don't just go out and just quit your job tomorrow, right? So when we first started Throttle, I had a full-time job. I was working, and I was working from like 6 a.m. to like 5 or 6 at night. And then I was working from like 7 p.m. to like 10 o'clock, 10 to 11 o'clock with Errol and Rick on Throttle stuff. And it was like killing me. I mean, I probably did that for maybe 9 months, 9 months. And like social life suffered, everything suffered. And there was a point where like I was working on Throttle stuff while I was at my other job. And I was like, something needs to change. Like I couldn't do it any longer. So talked with my wife, and we basically, she was the one who was like, okay, it's time to quit the main job,
Yeah.
focus on Throttle full time, give it X amount of months. We kind of set a deadline, and we went for it. And yeah, I mean, I'm thankful because she could have been like, no, like
Yeah.
we're going from 2 income family to 1 income family. You know, it's crazy. But yeah, I mean, fast forward to now.
You should probably did it sooner, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you know, the thing is like at that point too, like it didn't feel like work
Yeah.
because it was so exciting. We didn't know what we were doing. We were just figuring out, like, we had this idea and this concept. And I was just about to post earlier today there's a picture of me, Rick, and Mickey on the way to SEMA. I think it was 2016.
Got you.
And we had just started Throttle. I think we had like a beta software or whatever. And no one in the world knew what Throttle was. And we were literally going booth to booth.
What year was this?
2016.
Oh my
I
God.
think. Going booth to booth, just trying to meet anyone we could that would listen to us. Wow. Basically, I must have handed out 500 business or 300 business cards or whatever, and it I mean, it brings you back. It's like, wow, like, we still need to do that. You still need to hustle because like it's even with 1 million subscribers, it feels like we have 5,000 sometimes.
You can't let off the throttle, bro.
You can't, dude. Full throttle all the time. So,
yeah.
I mean, we've got some really exciting things in the works. Very thankful for everything. I'm excited about the future. It's like you said, it's a moving target. 2 years ago, when I would think like, hey, you're going to be almost at 1 million subscribers in 2 years or whatever. First of all, I wouldn't have believed you. But then, like, if I had, you'd be like, oh, you made it, right? Like, oh, you hit 1 million subscribers. Like, it doesn't mean anything. Like, sure, it's cool, it's awesome. But really, it's like, okay, well, what's 5 million look like, or 10 million look like, or so it is moving.
Do you ever get afraid that you could just keep pushing the goalposts and you never get to the end?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think that's what you were kind of talking about earlier. Like, me personally, like, I need to kind of sit back and do more of this type of reflection, because it's like, wow, like, there was zero. Every creator starts with zero, and like, potentially in 4 months we'll be at 1 million subscribers, and it's like mind blowing. Yeah. But like, I want to be, and of course I'm extremely happy and blessed that like that's where we're at. But I personally set the goals. Like, I always move the goalposts. Yeah. We're always. And I think it's good to some extent. Like, I think it's good to like just always be looking forward. You don't want to be like, oh, we hit 1 million, now we get to sit back and do nothing, right? That's just not who I am or who anyone is here on the team. But I do think that celebrating where you're at and where you've come is super important, and I think we should do more of that. Yeah,
definitely, man. Yeah. Even if it's something where you and the boys just get together, schedule it as you would schedule a car or a video schedule, because that's as important. Because we can all just get so caught up in everything that a week turns into a month like that.
Or a year.
Okay, I'm gonna or a year or 4 years. Yeah. You just keep going and going. You have to be in control of yourself and just like, yo, I need to stop. I need to look back at how far I've come, and I need to soak all of this in, and then that rejuvenates you. Like, all right, cool. Yeah, let's keep pushing.
Yeah, it's like a good refresh.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
So you touched on something earlier about the balance. So tell me about the work family life balance. I know you just got a new beautiful baby girl, Penelope.
Yeah, we do. She's 14 months now.
Awesome.
So
congrats.
Thank you, and congrats to you.
Thank you,
as well.
brother. Thank you.
Coming soon.
Yes, sir.
It has absolutely changed my life, for sure. Obviously for the better, but I think it's one of those things that you can't really comprehend until you kind of go through it.
Yeah.
And for me, I think, let's say, snapshot like 2-3 years ago, when we first kind of really starting out, and like it was me posting every day and like really grinding through, like it was like 95% work and 5% life. Now it's shifting for sure. So now it's like, how do I figure out how we hire the right people, and creating that team so that I am not having to work 7 days a week, 65 hours a week. So it's been nice. It's been challenging at times, right? But yeah, I mean, it's a shift for sure. I mean,
So
staying awake for at the beginning.
yeah,
right?
tell me what to expect, bro, because I'm having a baby girl in February.
Well, you get used to not sleeping, obviously. I mean,
Yeah.
everyone tells you that,
Yeah.
right? But I mean, the little moments. Now, the craziest thing now that she's a little bit older is that she learns stuff faster. Like, you think that if you like picked up a new camera, you'd be able to learn how to use it quickly or whatever that skill is. She's learning like at an insane rate. Like, you can say a word 5 times and then she'll start talking. Like, and she's just learning how to talk and just learning how to walk now. But like little things like opening up a container, like she'll see you do it twice and then she'll go over and she'll like try to figure it out.
Yeah.
Or like putting coins in a slot, like you can show her and then she'll do it. And the other, it's like stuff that's so new, like she's never seen before, or like tried a new food, right?
Yeah.
Eating mac and cheese for the first time, like she was so happy, like the ultimate joy, right? It's really cool. I didn't know about those types of things, or like it's almost like cliche, like you hear people talking about that kind of stuff and you don't really think about it. But yeah, like do you imagine your first cheeseburger? Right?
Yeah,
like,
right.
You don't, but like when you see someone try something that they love, like wholeheartedly, it's pretty awesome.
Has she had her first lemon yet? Anything sour?
Yeah, she didn't hate it.
Really?
She didn't do that like real pucker face that a lot of babies do. But yeah, she's funny, man. She's just starting to talk, and like we got to be careful now about what we say, because like
Fuck.
yeah, pretty much. The other day, I'm gonna say a quick story here. The other day, she was about to go to bed, and sometimes we'll let her run around without a diaper on.
Yeah.
And she was standing up at her bookshelf, and she looked at me dead in the eyes, and she said, "Poop, poop," and then she just peed on the ground.
Oh.
But we didn't know that she knew what that word was. We didn't know that like she had like how did she associate that with that? But it was just the funniest thing. And all you can do is laugh. Like,
bro, all of that stuff is just amazing.
Yeah.
You know,
it's crazy.
Even the actual act of like how the birth and how the baby's growing is fascinating.
So you're going through that now, all the ultrasounds and all that. So what, you have 4 months? 3 months.
3 months.
3
yeah.
months left.
So we see the baby moving in the stomach now. And it's
what is
awesome,
your son think?
He's ready, bro.
Yeah.
He was ready before we were. He was ready to have a brother or sister. He didn't even care. So we tell him, "Are you sure you're ready? Are you sure you're ready?" But he's 13 already, dude. So he's gonna be the best big brother. Help out, you know. And we're excited for it. At first, I wanted a boy, but then I'm just like, you know what? A girl is a blessing. First of all, it's something new I've never had, and second of all, this is like a mini me of my wife. You know, and I met my wife when she was 21, so I don't know what happened to her before then. I don't even like to really think about it, like her having a life before me, not for ex guys or anything like that, but just like I missed so much of your life. You know, we weren't together for those times, so now we're gonna have a little her. Yeah, man, I'm so excited, dude. But
it's good, man.
Yeah, man, it happens. I think it just happens at the right time, man. 2020, it's been beautiful for us, and I honestly feel guilty for saying that, but it's just, I don't know if it was the preparation or it's just we had too much in the karma jar or what happened, but it's just been a beautiful year, man, and I love it, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a crazy year, but at the end of the day, like, you know, there's opportunity everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, this is more so on the business side, obviously, but you know, when people were home, what were they doing?
Yep.
They were ingesting content for sure, right? They were watching a lot of stuff, and a lot of people, fortunately for us, a lot of people were working on their cars. So, you know,
thank you guys.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's crazy. I mean, even me personally, when I was home, I was like tinkering on things and doing that. So I think that's the world we're in. So
now, have you started documenting your daughter's life, like as you do for business?
Not yet, but I'm thinking about creating my own like a family type thing at some point. I don't know when, and I probably we have some that we've just recorded. I haven't edited anything. But yeah, I mean, I think what's crazy now is like when we were kids, like I remember so when my parents gave us the baby book or whatever to look at for myself. So we were looking at when we were about to have Penelope, and there was like, 10, 15 pictures or whatever per year that you're alive. Now, Penelope has an Instagram and like we have so much documented. It's gnarly. So when she's, whatever, 15 or whatever the age is, I don't know the ages for that, but like her whole life is going to be documented. She'll be able to see everything that.
Dude, what is that going to do for us? Think about that, man, because you're right. If you were born in, the 80s, not many parents were out with video cameras and taking pictures and going and developing them. I wish they were, you know. Since we just moved, I found an old video camera that I had, and it was when I was maybe like same time 16 or so. But anything before that, I don't have any videos of me before. I don't even know if I existed before. I don't know.
It's crazy. I mean, I don't know. I think the next generation is going to be pretty gnarly.
Yeah.
I mean, how much is college going to be when our kids are in college?
Or is it even going to be around still?
True. Yeah.
Is YouTube going to open up their own college?
Maybe.
Who knows, man? But it's exciting, man.
Oh, yeah.
I'm excited. So when this 1 million comes, dude, what's that going to feel like?
It's going to be awesome. We're planning a big celebration video. Yeah. I'm not going to share anything just yet, but it's going to be pretty epic. So I remember we were here when TJ hit 1 million, and they had an awesome party, and it was a lot of fun. But yeah, I want to make this super awesome video. And I think it's a great time to like just reflect and be like, okay, well, that's awesome. This has been a lot of work, but how do we get to 10 million, right? It's gonna be cool. When we have the plaque, I think that's when it'll kind of sink in.
Maybe get drunk, cry a little bit with the boys or something.
Maybe a little bit.
I love it, man. So what can we expect from Throttle in the near future?
Lots of big things. New genres of cars, trucks, exotics, American muscle.
Yeah.
So, I really want to challenge us to get out of our comfort zone. We've got the Tesla E350Z build that is making some really good progress. And, electric cars, when we first started that project, everyone was on the fence. And I think some people still are like, can you make an electric car cool? I don't know. We're going to try. Yeah. It's going to be like 800 foot-pounds of torque and 700-800 horsepower in a 350Z. It's going to be sick. So we'll see. That thing should be a lot of fun. But yeah, different cars, different projects, like the ice cream truck. Yeah. That thing is turning out to be probably the coolest thing that I think we've done, one of them. And we've got some other crazy ideas like that.
That was a cool project, man. I really like that.
Soon we'll be on the road. We're almost there.
Really?
Yeah. So we are working on the interior, and then the plan is to go on tour and to bring that thing to car shows and serve ice cream and merch and everything.
Hell yeah.
We've got probably about 150 Downstar nuts on there. Yeah.
I love it, man. Thank you, dude. Yeah. Thank you for all the support, man. I really appreciate what you guys do for us.
I mean, likewise. Whenever we need something, you're there.
Anytime, man.
Yeah.
I got you.
So we appreciate that.
So before we get out of here, let's talk about the newest giveaway that you guys are doing.
So it's funny because we purchased this car. It's a 2007 E92 335i 6-speed manual, which when I had my 135i before I bought it, that was like the goal. I wanted that car, and that car is like really desirable. I bought it at the auction, sight unseen. It was pretty cheap, and that was going to be my new daily driver. And that was before the M2 as well. And we got it, and it was way rougher. Like, I didn't even want to sit in the interior. It just was terrible. Every check engine light was on in the dashboard, and the body was just thrashed, dents everywhere, peeling paint. So at that point, we're like, this isn't going to be a daily driver. We need to do paint job, new interior, full tune-up, engine stuff. We don't even know. So we ended up basically tearing into it right away, and it was basically like, this is not a daily driver anymore. So we did all the maintenance stuff that the N54s have. We just got the car back from SOS Customs. We did the Street Fighter LA wide-body kit. We've got a carbon roof for it. We're doing M4 F82 M4 seats, new sound systems already in, ST suspension, new brakes, all the upgraded turbos, front mount, radiator. I mean, everything is being done on this car. And the sweepstakes ends on Cyber Monday.
Oh,
So,
got you.
November 30th.
Listen up, guys.
Yeah.
Go shop. So
That's
how do you enter?
Every $1 you spend on our website is one entry. So you can buy car parts, you can buy merchandise. We even sell oil. So that's the thing. We sell oil. We sell NGK spark plugs. We sell, whatever you can think related to cars. It doesn't always have to be like, turbo kits and stuff like that. Brakes are probably one of our biggest products by category that we move because everyone needs brakes. So like when you're upgrading or when you're doing your brakes, why not get a set of Stop Tech brakes, right? So yeah, a lot of maintenance stuff as well, performance parts. We sell pretty much everything you can think of. And get those entries in every time. Like the next day after the sweepstakes ends, people like, I get DMs like, oh, I should have entered, or like, it's like, dude, like you had your chance.
Yeah,
it's very publicly known. But it's awesome. I mean, honestly, the sweepstakes for us are really important for a couple of different reasons. Obviously, the obvious thing in the room is that, yes, does the sweepstakes drive more sales? Of course it does. Everyone wants the ability for a chance to win something awesome. At the same time, it's really the best way to get our name out there in terms of like, place your order, and you might get your order in same day, right? Like we are providing a real service, and we provide as best pricing as we possibly can, and really fast shipping and all that stuff. So the sweepstakes is like a driver for getting our name out there for that. But it also changes people's lives. I mean, we've done, I think, eight or nine giveaways now. And I can literally pick up the phone and call every one of them.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, what's it like when they get the car?
It's awesome. I mean, can you imagine being, I guess there's kind of a range of ages, but like, let's say, Wyatt, who won the 240, which was, I think, one of everyone's favorite builds.
Orange 240.
The orange 240 was at SEMA, it had a lot of history, right? It belonged to TJ and Calvin. They did the motor swap, all this stuff. So like that one was one of the coolest ones. And the owner now, Wyatt, he's got to be early 20s or whatever. He is so amped still. Yeah. And it's been over a year. He loves that car. And, people offer to buy them and people offer to do whatever. And like, he's like, this is my car. And he won it. He bought a set of floor mats.
Yeah.
And he won the car.
That's beautiful.
The guy who just won the Evo, you saw it out there, he bought a single jet tag and he won.
Guys, are you serious, bro?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. I mean, it's all obviously handled by a sweepstakes company and like it's all legit, and it's crazy. I mean, you call someone and people think that like when you see TV, right, and people win a car or they win a whatever, like people are jumping up in joy and screaming over the phone and super hysterical. And usually in our experience, in the like 7 out of 10 or 7 out of 8 or whatever, people are in shock and they go quiet on the phone, or they're like timid, like, are you sure? Yeah. Are you sure that I won? Or like, is this real? That is the biggest.
Is this real?
100%. That is the first instinct of everyone. Is this real? Yeah. We had one guy who his father didn't believe that he had won, and he flew out here with him to get the car, John DuPont with the RX-8. And we had an awesome time. We, got beers and got dinner with them, and really awesome people. But yeah, I mean, look, if someone calls you, you're 21, right? Or let's say you're 19 and someone calls you who you see on YouTube, and they're like, yeah, you won a car. You'd be like, no way. You'd be like, no way that did I win or whatever. That's the reaction that everyone has.
It's beautiful, bro. Yeah.
So it's cool. I love it.
I love it, man. I love everything that Throttle represents, dude.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
And I wish you guys nothing but the success, man. It's so exciting.
It is.
Just in the time that I've known you guys, just to see how much the channel's grown, it's just, it shows me that it's possible, you know, and it's very motivating, man.
Anything.
And I love it.
Thank you.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
So before we get out of here, man, where can people find you at?
On Instagram
Mhm.
and YouTube. YouTube's the place to go. YouTube is the channel for everyone as a part of the team.
Yeah.
I think. You know,
Just-
Throttle is not just me
Yeah.
or Mickey or Ricky. It's everyone. It's all the people behind the scenes too.
I love
So,
the channel, bro.
Thank you.
Honestly, I really love it. And it reminds me of a show, like an
That's-
actual show.
That's the goal.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the production that goes into it, the work. You know, you could tell that the guys are themselves. You guys, Ricky, Mickey, you know, everybody is themselves, and they're just doing what they love, bro. And it's a beautiful thing, man.
Thank you. I
Hell yeah,
appreciate
brother.
that. It means a lot.
Thank you
sure.
for your time. I
Yeah.
appreciate it, brother.
Of course.
All right, guys. Thank you for listening. Once again, this is Downtime with Downstar, episode 214. Oh my goodness,
Dang.
214, guys. Go watch Throttle now. Go subscribe. We're out. Peace.
Later.